be in the mid-50s. The cold front moves through by day's end. And Wednesday, sun, high clouds. It'll be cooler near 40. Rain and sleet could arrive here by Wednesday night. Certainly stay tuned. I'm Mark Rosenthal reporting for WSMN 1590 and WLMW 90.7 in Manchester.
It's 48 degrees. It's 8:06.
Welcome to When Spirits Speak with Steffanie Damboise. Steffanie has always been gifted, but it wasn't until her 20s that Spirit began guiding her to her new path, being led from one piece of the puzzle to the next. Steffanie found herself moving from meditation to mediumship classes. Join her now as she connects you with Spirit and past loved ones and teaches you how to tap into your own gifts as an empath, healer, and intuitive. Now your host, Steffanie Damboise.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a fabulous night so far. Thanks for listening. You are here with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk. And tonight I have my guest friend, Sarah Woodward. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Steph.
Sarah is a spiritual educator, a shaman, a Reiki Master Teacher, and an author. She's got a lot going on.
Always.
So welcome. Yay. So glad to have you on my show this evening. So typically on the show, we chat a lot about goals and positive attitudes and where to go in life and how to get there and ways to change it. This has kind of been the flow of my show. So tonight is not going to be any different. And then typically I chat first about how I met each of my guests. Mm-hmm. So would you like to chat about that first, Sarah, or we can both chat about it together?
We can totally talk about that. It's actually a really cool story, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, my show's called When Spirit Speaks, right? So I usually try to flow with life and literally where spirit guides me. So, yeah, you can start.
All right, so
we're like the married couple already. You go first.
We've always been this way,
I know.
That's the thing.
You flow.
So actually the first time I met Steph, I was dating this guy who I'm very grateful is no longer in my life, and I met her for the first time at a bar, like up in Manchester. I don't even remember where, some faraway place. Pembroke. Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. For somebody else's birthday. And she walked in, and Steph is very tall and I'm very not tall. And so she walked in and I was like, oh my gosh. And this guy that I was dating said there are two Stephs that he was friends with. One was PH, it was her birthday. And one was two Fs. And he goes, yeah, that's two Fs. And I'm like, all right. Little did I know that nobody else in the group referred to them like that.
Yeah.
And so it was very strange. And I'm just standing there and I'm going, my God, she's so much presence and energy. And I don't even know how to talk to her. And it was a little bit intimidating, but I also felt like I really want to get to know her. And so I'm still dating this guy, and we wind up in, sort of seeing each other at other gatherings and whatever. But we never really had a moment to kind of talk. Like we were always like off talking to other people, or it just never, like, we just never came together. And then right before this guy and I broke up, we were at this event. I don't even know.
It was like a barbecue or something.
It was a barbecue or something. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what town or whatever.
I think we were still in Pembroke.
Maybe.
Because I just remember weird things.
And I have no sense of geography.
We're the best couple ever.
Right. And I have no sense of geography. So
I think we were in Pembroke again.
We probably were. I have zero sense of geography, so I have no idea. And somehow the two of us wound up like by ourselves while everybody was off doing other things. And I mentioned something about oracle cards. And actually, I think first Steph said to me, how do you know this other girl that we were mutually friends with on Facebook? And I had been wondering the same thing and had never gotten around to asking her. And so we started talking about this mutual person that we knew and how great she is and how they knew each other and how I knew her and blah, blah, blah. And then we're talking about oracle cards and Reiki and energy. And the next thing I knew, I had a new best friend.
Yeah. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Because I think I've been talking to my listeners and everything that I didn't tell people that I did this. And this was probably a few years ago, right? I forget when this was.
Well, let me see. It was at least 4.
Oh, gosh, at least 4, even more so. So it's like I've been doing this professionally for a couple of years now, maybe almost 3. But I really hadn't told very many people like that I did this. And then even like our friends that we hung out with, I would tell them and they were like, oh, okay, Steph.
And they always had the same reaction to me.
Correct. Yeah. So it was like, oh my God. I was like, she reads cards. I was like, what?
And she Reikis and wait.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, we need to hang out more. So.
And so we did.
And thus started, yeah. And so we did. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So yes, and then we just kept like meeting like each other, getting together, chatting life. And then just I feel like you and I always just know when we need each other.
We do. And it's so funny because every time we talk on the phone, it's at least an hour, and it's usually like an hour and 1 minute or an hour and 11 minutes or some other like really cool number.
Yeah, it's just, and that's also, so, you know, again, when Spirit speaks, so it's like, I listen to Spirit, and it's like, just every time I need you, it's like, I know it, and you need me, you know it. So we're just always like messaging and getting
Or we
together.
know, like, I might know that you need me and I'll call you.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, you weirdo. I'm just kidding. It's beautiful. So I was like, I have to have Sarah on the show today, which is cool. Never in a million years would I thought that I would have a radio show. But it's going very well, and I'm really enjoying it. So tell us, Sarah, what's going on in life? I know you and I have come very far together.
We really have.
Which is so cool to just be like here and be like, yo, look at us.
Yeah. Like, so when Steph and I first met, I think I was self-employed by that point, but not doing what I do now. I knew that I was on the path to be doing this, but I wasn't like hardcore in it. And then during the time that I knew her, I actually, trained to be a shaman, and took a whole bunch of other things. And now I have this whole business. And like, my God, it's been such a whirlwind. Like when I first started the business, it was like, okay, like I had 3 online classes and I read oracle cards, and it was like, okay, like check it out. And I was super proud of what I had. But now not only do I have those 3 original classes and still do oracle card readings, I have a whole program for spirit guide retrievals to help people make empowered decisions about career and life choices, usually women. I'm happy to work with men, but it's usually women. And so I've got a whole program for that. I've written, 6 books, and
so amazing.
I just don't even know. Again, when Spirit speaks, and I literally just write what I'm told to write.
Yeah.
And I have later this month, I'll be coming out with a monthly email subscription that will have all sorts of great like tips and advice, and it's going to have like a monthly oracle card reading and a mantra and a meditation that goes with it, and all sorts of cool things.
Yeah. And 2 of your books are children's books,
Yes, 2 of them are. Let me see. Can you want me to show them to the camera?
Yeah, it's up there.
All right, cool. So this was my first one, Adri's Big Dream, which I sort of knew where this came from because I was reading a book about like an advanced Reiki book about energy and working with energy and the different levels of existence, basically. And I wanted to write a book about transformation and I knew that it needed to be about a rock that wanted to be something else. And a rock to a plant seemed to just sort of make sense for some reason. I admit the first time I wrote it, it was crap. It was total crap. And I just put it kind of on a digital shelf, if you will, for a good year. And then I pulled it back out, and I sat down with Spirit and I said, help me write this. And thus the book was born. And therapists are using it with the kids that they see. Guidance counselors are using it in schools. It's so cool.
Yeah. And it's just so simple. And like we keep talking about that, like how we live our lives is just simple. Making things simple. Yeah.
It's simple, but at the same time, everybody walks away with a slightly different message.
Yeah.
Because Spirit just put all of that in there. Like I did nothing. I was a scribe.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in right now, you are listening to When Spirit Speaks with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise. And I have my guest here, Sarah Woodward, who is a spiritual teacher. She's a Reiki Master Teacher, Shaman, and author. She has all these cool titles. And we are on WSMN 1590, which is Nashua's source for news and talk radio. So we're just talking about Sarah's books that she has out right now, a couple of children's books, and she's going to tell us about her second one right now.
Sure. So then the second one was The Little Lost Bee. And so I'm a beekeeper, and as a shaman and a vegan and sort of just a granola crunchy person all around, I'm super passionate about the environment and bees, and like if we don't have bees, we all die because they sort of pollinate our food, and they pollinate the food that, if you're not a vegan, they pollinate the food that your food eats. So we sort of need them kind of a lot. Yeah. So I got inspired to like write this book that would teach kids about bees and teach them not to be afraid of bees. Because if a lot of kids are afraid of them anyways, because all they associate with is I could get stung and that hurts.
Yeah.
And honestly, honeybees sting very rarely. Chances are, if you're a kid and you've been stung, it's been a wasp or hornet, and they hurt a lot more than honeybees. I know, because I've been stung by all of them.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you don't know any of that, and I really wanted to put out something that was educational but also fun and would have some sort of a spirit message as well. And again, I wrote it, and it was literally just pages and pages of monologue of this bee, and I'm like, well, this is crap.
Yeah.
And so I actually called an author friend of mine, and I was like, I need help brainstorming the concept for this book. Like, here's what I'm trying to do with it, but I don't have a concept to give it a plot. And she says, I'm just getting this from I don't know where, which means from spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
And she says, but what if it's about a bee that gets trapped in like a false hive because she's confused? And I was like, that's perfect, because now I can talk about pesticides actually do make bees disoriented or worse, and I can talk about it, and the whole book just came together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just by one little thought and one little like thing that you thought was crap.
Yeah.
That's what I, again, like, as I'm teaching people, and I don't want to say like spreading the word, but I mean, that's what we're doing, right?
But it kind of is.
Yeah, most definitely. Just you have a thought, write it down, start someplace, like little baby steps. That's what I always tell people, baby steps.
Exactly.
You're moving forward if you're still taking baby steps, right?
Right.
It's
exactly.
Like one of my like mantras to myself to remember that daily.
It's a good mantra. I like it.
Yeah. So it's like on days when I think that I'm going so slowly, and then it's like, Steffanie, you accomplished 3 or 4 things today.
You moved forward.
Yeah. It's like, stop it.
That's all that matters.
So yeah, like kudos to you for, taking the thought, writing it down, and then just kind of continuing on.
Right. And I mean, my most recent book, which I don't actually have copies of yet, because when you're an author and you order author copies, it takes 2 weeks. You could go on Amazon and order this right now, and if you're a Prime member, you'd have it in 2 days. I would still be waiting for mine. But it's called Cultivating Presence, 365 Mindfulness Activities for Daily Life. And that book, it's literally 365 activities, plus like I wrote some stuff at the beginning, right? So this was not a small undertaking. And literally some days I would write 1 idea down. Some days I would have 5.
Yeah.
But the next thing I knew, I had 365 of them.
Right. Yeah.
And again, it was a very spirit-led thing. I was brainstorming content for my blog, and I was like, I could do like a week's worth of mindfulness activities, or even like a month's worth. And then I heard, no, you're going to do a year, and it's a book. Oh, okay. Well, if you say so, and and it's a book.
Yeah. So for the people watching us on Facebook, thanks everyone. So you can see Sarah's, we have her Facebook page tagged, and her website, which is stonebridgetransformation.com. My info is on there as well, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, and then my website's on there. It's my name with 2 F's, Steffanie with 2 F's. I always get made fun of for that one, but I love it. So we can check her out on there. So again, for the viewers or the people listening to us, Stonebridge Transformation is the Facebook page, and then same thing, stonebridgetransformation.com.
Yes.
To check out Sarah's website and everything she's got going on there.
Right.
All your books and stuff, links on there and everything?
They are, yeah. In the menu, you'll see a menu item that says books, and you just click there, and all of them are right on there.
Yeah, so Sarah does a bunch of classes. I would definitely say check out her anything she's got going on there.
The Spirit Guide Retrieval program has been super popular with people, because it basically, what I do is I first do an introduction to their spirit guide. That's the very first meeting. And then there's 12 one-to-one sessions after that, where we talk, we open up the pathways to communicate, and ultimately people transform their lives. They go from unhappy to happy. They go from lost and confused to having a direction and living their passion.
Yeah, and really like finding people's guides is super super cool thing. I mean, like, I am lucky, I guess. I thought it was so much harder than it was, but I know who a bunch of mine are. But
yeah.
And then you said you have something coming up, right? Like something in June, like a group one or something, or if it were you were saying you were starting a new
later. Yeah, so later this month. No, that's okay. Later this month, I am releasing a subscription, an email subscription program. So for I think it's like $24 a month. People will sign up, and every month in their inbox, they'll get an email that will have an oracle card reading, a downloadable meditation, a monthly skill to practice, and a monthly mantra to post and to repeat to themselves and whatever. Plus, as a sign up bonus, they get an ebook about the spiritual benefits of essential oils.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
That's
pretty
awesome.
it's a pretty cool thing. I'm really excited about
Sounds
it.
so cool. I just love that like you and I have just come so far together
Oh my God.
in all that we've done and all the haters, which I know I shouldn't be talking about, but
No, but they
just-
exist when you're
exist.
and the harder you're rocking at life, the more they try to bring you down.
yes, and which is part of what I want to teach everyone. I you know, it's sad that I have to teach that to my nieces even. It's like, yeah, when you're rocking it, like the world's going to try to take you down
They
because
will.
there's not as many light workers as there are people who are just, you know,
Unhappy.
yeah, unhappy and like full of negativity and such. So yeah, it's
And some people don't know how to say, well, I want that and let me learn from
Yeah.
them. Some people just try
Let
to
me
bring you
help you.
down.
I saw your question there, Amanda, on Facebook. Yes, we will be able to call in later. We're going to probably do live calls around 8:30. I'll let you know when, and then 9:30 again as well. So yeah, it's so cool. So anyway, if you're just tuning in again online or on the radio, you were listening to When Spirit Speaks with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. We're on WSMN 1590, which is Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And then I have my friend Sarah Woodward on the show with me tonight. She has a lot of titles. She's a spiritual educator, a shaman, a Reiki Master Teacher, and an author. So,
And by the end of the night, you might have them all down.
I know. I actually I can read them right on Facebook now. Why? I wrote them like right there in front of my face. So it's like, I'll be able to say them. It's like, and I'm like, what am I? Like, how do I can say radio show host.
Psychic
medium,
Maybe.
Akashic Records,
Yeah.
certified Akashic Records reader. I don't even know.
We'll come up with a cool name for that.
Yeah. I've been doing house clearings actually lately too.
So see, that's another thing. So
That's
you
on-
have a ton of titles too.
that's on my I got new business cards. So I went and did a house clearing actually, and it was so, I don't want to say so cool, not for the homeowner obviously, but she said like cabinets were opening and things were flying across the room, and
Oh,
this
so
chair
she needed you.
Yeah, this chair was like moving down the hallway and it was like scaring her. So it was super cool for me obviously, because you know it's like
Yeah, she totally
I
needed
do
your
this.
help.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So I went in and I did like a house clearing, and she says she feels much better. So I feel really good about that. Yeah, so that was super cool. Yeah, so earlier you and I were joking about ex-boyfriends and
Yes.
how they've brought us to like where we are and amazing people in our lives. And I mean, you would say ex-boyfriend, but then it's like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend and your ex-boyfriend are friends, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, I was actually like, oh man, yeah, my ex-boyfriend brought me to you as much as your ex-boyfriend brought you to me. So,
Right.
and just how beautiful that is.
It is. It is. And as much as I am grateful he is no longer in my life, I've also felt like, you know, that saying about how, you know, an arrow has to be pulled back before it can be launched forward.
Most definitely. Yes.
I felt like the whole time I was with him, he was just pulling me. And when we finally broke up, it was like, shoom, I just shot forward.
Yeah, and I just and you know that's not how I felt about mine, but it's just so beautiful to be like, oh my gosh, all these men or whatever, like all these men, I sound horrible. These ex-boyfriends have just brought these wonderful women mostly into my life, and it's just I'm so blessed by that. And just today you reminded me, you know, of that, you know. So thank you to them, you know, like the silver lining of sorts.
I do think it's so funny too how you are friends with. Like that whole group has been together as friends like since high school, and you're still friends with like literally every woman that they have brought into the group and then broken up with.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's so funny to me.
This is my life. I'm still friends with your ex-boyfriend. He's a friend of mine, you know, so that, you know, which is cool, and you know, it's fine.
It's whatever. I don't care.
You know, exactly. And it's like that's why I love all my friends so much more. You know, it's like I seem to just stay like people. I seem to keep people.
You do,
you know,
yeah,
like
you
I
do
just
keep people.
I keep everyone. I mean, like obviously, if I don't want them, they're gone.
They're gone.
Which we also talked about earlier.
Yes.
But,
Door slam.
Yes, the people I enjoy, I do keep around. So, and it just, I don't know, it's just so beautiful to me how in moments of like, oh my God, this man or this person, and then it's like, but gosh, am I blessed because I got so many cool people out of the deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I mean, I met you, which was amazing. I met another girlfriend of mine, and through her, I met another girlfriend of mine. So it was like, and it was really interesting because the other girlfriend that I met, she and I didn't really even start hanging out until after we broke up. And she was totally like, she was madder than I was. She was like, I unfriended him on Facebook and like blah, blah, blah. And it was so funny because she knew him first. She was, you know, she and her boyfriend were friends with him first, but They were both like, no, we like you.
Yeah. And, and it's like throwing it out there for all the, I don't want to say just women, but, people listening, even if you're in a bad relationship or were in one or just got out of one, it's like, just remember that there's definitely something good for sure that you got out of it usually. But
also if you are in a bad relationship and it's not bringing you joy and you don't feel like it's ever going to bring you joy, get out.
Does it bring you joy? We were joking about anything in life that doesn't bring us joy. We just always ask each other. It's like, does it bring you joy? And if your answer is no, then you need to get rid of it.
Pretty much.
Whatever it is.
And it sounds really black and white, but it's also not always that easy.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Yeah. No, I hear you.
But at the same time, it is sort of the golden rule, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if it's not bringing you joy and it's never going to bring you joy, like it's one thing to be going, like, as you and I both know, starting a business is not always joyful. There is a lot of just mud you got to slug through to get there. But you know that what's on the other side is going to bring you joy. So you keep at it.
Most definitely, yes.
You keep at it. Yeah. But if you're in a situation that is never going to bring you joy, or you're involved with a person, friends or otherwise, that is never going to bring you joy, it's time to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, even just, we were talking about like things in our house, things anywhere. Right. Does it bring you joy? It's
the Marie Kondo thing.
Yes. It's so awesome to just like get rid of all that stuff. But
oh my God, it is so freeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're just listening in with us, you are listening to me, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, your host of When Spirit Speaks on WSMN 1590, which is Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And I'm here tonight with my friend, Sarah Woodward. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Sarah is a spiritual educator, a shaman, a Reiki Master Teacher, and an author. And I'm sure in a few years she'll have more titles. So
probably.
Yeah. So
as will you, I'm sure.
Oh, I will, girl. I will. We're setting the bar high.
Totally.
Really high. I'm just like, I wrote like some crazy things for my goal list this year. Yeah, I love where we're at, how far we've come. The both of us Sarah was actually there when I did my your first
technical
like gallery reading event.
That. Yeah, I remember that, and you friggin' rocked it.
Yeah, thank you. It was amazing.
You really did. And I remember too at the end, this is one of the things that I'm very blessed to be able to do, is I'm sort of a catalyst for people to sort of step into their own gifts, which is why I do what I do, and it's why Spirit works with me the way that it does. And I remember when I was driving out to your first gallery, going, I need to just be there just to let her like siphon that catalyst.
Yeah, and I totally did. I was like, I totally stole your energy, just so you know.
Which is totally fine.
And it was amazing.
It was for. And you did so well.
I remember. Thank you. Yeah, and it was just, I'm like, oh my God, I just talked to like several dead people. It was amazing. I got so much
people
good
claimed
stuff.
them.
Yeah,
people claimed them. You had this one woman in joyful tears because she got a message from her grandmother. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yes, and I still like remember that. It was just so nice. And then I almost like forget. I'm like, oh my gosh, you were there for that first one. And here I am, like, own business, working out of my house, quit my day job.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to head out to a break soon. So we are going to be taking live calls after we come back from the break. So if anybody would like a live medium reading from me, you can call on in. It's 603-816-1590. And then call in now. We'll take them when we come back from the break. All right. Thanks, guys.
Green light. Hey girl. School zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah. Street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Title Boxing Club is the best and only authentic full-body boxing workout that changes your body, clears your mind, and completely engages your spirit. Our signature workout utilizes the fundamentals of a true boxer's workout, including proper heavy bag training to strengthen and tone your arms, legs, back, core, stamina, and your confidence. Empowering, exhilarating, and totally addictive. This is your new favorite workout class. Visit them online at TitleBoxingClub.com or call 603-206-5608. That's 206-5608 and begin today.
Hearing loss is a growing health issue among young adults and Americans of all ages, affecting more than 48 million people nationwide. Common signs of hearing loss include turning up the volume on the TV or radio to levels that others find too loud, having trouble following conversations in noisy environments, or struggling to hear while on the telephone. Help prevent hearing loss by limiting exposure to loud noises, using ear protection when attending sports events or music concerts, and reducing the use of earbud headphones. It's also important to discuss hearing loss with your family and take steps to encourage treatment. Hearing loss isn't harmless. It can cause social isolation and make it more difficult for families to connect. Hearing loss is also linked to lower earnings, depression, dementia, and higher risk of falls. If you or a loved one is experiencing hearing loss, now is the time to take action. Talk to your hearing healthcare provider or your physician and schedule a hearing test. For more information about hearing loss, please go to www.hearingloss.org. This has been a public service message from the Hearing Loss Association of America, High Health Innovations, and this station.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
I started going cold turkey. Well, at least when I'm in the car.
I know I shouldn't do it, but it's so hard to stop. That's why I hide it from myself, so I won't be tempted.
I used to do it all the time. I stopped by locking it in my glove compartment.
My friend used to do it way too much. Now I turn it off when we're in the car.
My solution is simple. I just don't do it.
There are lots of ways to stop yourself and others from texting and driving. How will you stop? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, guys. You're here with me, Steffanie Damboise, your host of When Spirit Speaks on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. Tonight I'm here with my friend, Sarah Woodward. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah is a spiritual educator, a shaman, a Reiki Master Teacher, and an author. Thanks for being on the show tonight, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we do have a caller on the line. Hi, is it Keisha?
Hello, yes.
Hi, Keisha. You're from Missouri?
Yes.
It's exciting. I like it. All right, cool. So, and you would like a medium reading tonight, right?
Yes, please.
Awesome. So, Keisha, I'm just going to put you on like a musical hold for a second just while I take a few deep breaths in here, okay?
Okay.
All right, 1 sec. All right. Still there, Keisha?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I usually tell people to kind of write some stuff down, or if you don't hear all this, you can listen to it again tomorrow because it's going to be recorded. Okay. So I have a gentleman here for you. He is much, I feel like I say much older, but I feel like he is much older when he passes away. They've been messing with me with how they've passed away lately. So, but he keeps mentioning his hair to me, which is kind of funny, but not funny. It's like almost like a black curly hair or something like that, like how, but I feel like he's so old, not in a bad way, right? But like almost like he shouldn't have any hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's mentioning that he has this like full, like black curly hair. I'm not sure if that makes any sense to you, unless he's joking about it or something, but that's how he's, like, and it sounds so weird, but I don't want to say, like, I keep hearing the word like rabbi, like they have like the, maybe it's just because Sarah's sitting next to me, but they have like the black curly like hairs coming down on the sides. It's almost like it's like that or something. Does it make any sense to you?
Trying to think. I can't think of anyone right off the bat.
That's okay.
My grandpa he had light brown.
Okay.
He had
curly,
really
though?
good looking hair.
Okay. And like the curls are important, I feel like.
Okay.
Let me see what he says. What else he says to me here. It's funny. So I don't hear the letter K very often. I know that's your name. But I'm hearing another K name for this gentleman or somebody else around.
Okay.
And usually when I get names, it's the first letter of their first name or the first letter of their last name. So to me, this gentleman, I don't think he's a very big man. I'm working on height because I am like 5'11", so everybody's little to me. But I feel like he is smaller. Like, I mean, I feel like I keep hearing like 5'6"-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, I don't say petite, but he's just a small man.
Uh-huh. That's my grandpa. Yeah, I think he was like 5'7".
Okay. Yeah, right around there. He keeps showing me that he's like standing up very straight, and then all of a sudden he's kind of just like hunched over. Like he went from being able to stand up straight to, just hunched. I don't know if it was quickly or not, but that's how he just keeps showing me. Like that was his progression.
He had a stroke when he was 81, and he had been working right up until like a few days before he had the stroke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if it's like was quick or not, but he's just showing me like he's standing up straight and proud at one moment, and not that he wasn't proud when he was not straight, but that's how he's showing it to me. So he's handing me also this medal, Keisha. It's like it looks like it's from the war or something like that. One of the that would be on his. That's at least what it looks like to me. Like it would be pinned to something with a actual like medallion hung on it.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. He was in World War II, and he had some medals, quite a few medals.
He like specifically handed it to me, so I'm not sure if that means that it got handed to one of you or handed down to somebody that like somebody actually physically has it.
Yeah, I think my cousin has them.
I'm not sure if they're. I feel like he's saying like I don't know if they're actually displayed or not, but that's part of like not part of the reason why he's here. But to actually have them hanging, because I don't want to say like he's just like they're cool looking, like they're I don't want to say you can tell that they're old, but you can obviously tell that they're old. And it's neat to honestly need to look up. But just he's referencing like it's a part of history sort of thing, and it should be seen. I guess that's how he's saying it. And then as I say that, he also is referencing like a necklace, like with an actual medallion on it. I feel like it's like a saint medallion of some sort. And it looks silver to me, the one that he's showing me. Does it make sense at all to you?
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. I'll have to maybe ask some family members.
Yeah, I'm not. It looks like it's kind of, I don't want to say tarnished, but it looks sort of old as well, almost like. So I'm not sure if it's something that he gave to somebody as well, or just. I feel like it has a reference to him though. I'm not sure if somebody bought it because it made them think of him or something like that, and they wear it, but it has that feel to it that it's kind of old. And then he's just like making my head hurt. So usually when they make me like feel physical things, it's literally because either they have headaches or you have headaches.
Okay, yeah. My grandpa, if it's the one I'm thinking of, he had the stroke. It was an aneurysm, a brain bleed.
Okay. That could work. And I'm trying to get all those things down. I have a friend, like a medium friend that actually can pinpoint all those in her head, like where her head is hurting. She could tell you exactly what brain thing was happening. So thank you for that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a couple more things and then get a message for you. The phone ones are quick. So he is showing me a key, which I get often, but usually when I get a key, they're just saying that you've got a key to something, like a new key to something. So a car or an apartment or something key related nonetheless. It doesn't have to be new, just new to you.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense for you. And he keeps bringing up that K name, so I'm not sure who else it is, and I don't think it's related to you because it's obviously far too easy.
Okay.
The K name, and he didn't give me like a male or a female name. Usually they'll give me like a Kevin or a Katie or something like that, and I didn't hear that this time. So somebody with a K name or a last name that starts with a K, he's trying to get your attention to.
Okay.
Other than you, obviously. I'm assuming you're Keisha with the K.
No, I did have a friend that passed away that his name was Kenneth. and he was also
No,
in.
it has to do with this gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody that might.
Well, I was wondering if maybe it's not my grandpa trying to come through. Maybe it's the gentleman that I.
Yeah, as long as everything fits. Usually, when it's the right person, everything that I said will fit perfectly for you.
Okay. All right.
He keeps showing me, and I'm going to take this as like a double, like a message and might be going on, but you know, like those little necklaces that they used to make out of like elbow macaroni, like little kids. So he's showing that to me. I'm not sure if you've just made one of these recently or, you know, with kids or anything like that. But he's showing that to me. Have you actually made one of those recently, or?
I haven't. I do have a daughter that's about the right age to be making.
Okay.
So
I feel like he wants to add a little more like playfulness to your life, you know, like in that sense. So I feel like that's part of his message for you today, that he wants you to you know, take a time out kind of thing and make that necklace, you know, just make it, you know, have fun with it. Like, I don't want to say be a kid, but that's specifically what he was showing me, which I've actually never seen before. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, he's saying like, I kind of like go all out, like, you know, paint them different colors, whatever. I'm not sure if he was an artistic man of any sorts, but I feel like it's that sort of thing. Paint them different colors, have fun with them, or different glues or glittery glues, or that's, you know, he keeps showing me all these different ways that you could have fun with these little macaronis to make some cool little necklaces out of. And again, I'm not sure if I feel like he was maybe a little artistic or fun like that, because he's just showing me or telling me that he'll like be there with you guys when you're making those necklaces.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to ask him how he shows himself to you in the physical world. And then I heard nickels. Keisha, I don't know if you see nickels around, but
okay.
This gentleman saying he shows you nickels to.
Okay, I figured that was my 2-year-old.
Oh, no, that's good.
Around.
Yeah, nope, that's definitely that's him. So when you see the nickel next time, I always tell people to just pick it up and say thank you, and then they'll keep showing them to you.
Okay, maybe it'll be 500 now.
I know, right? I know. I was like, I always get pennies. I always joke that I would love to get quarters. You know.
Yeah.
But thank you for calling in, Keisha. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great evening.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, bye-bye. Hello. All right. So if anybody's still listening, we can take another caller. So it is 603-816-1590. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to When Spirit Speaks with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. And we're on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And I'm here tonight with my friend Sarah Woodward. You can say hi.
Hi.
Sorry,
I was waiting for you. No, I was waiting for you to do all the titles again.
And I was like, oh. Yeah, Sarah is a spiritual educator. She's a shaman. She's a Reiki Master Teacher and an author. And my friend.
That's the best part.
Oh,
that's the most important title.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I've known Sarah for a little while now. We're talking about that. We keep seeing I think we have another caller here. We keep finding each other and helping each other through and kicking us to the next level. So it's super cool. Always like learning and growing together.
And after you do your next reading, I want to share with you what I was thinking about when you were doing this, when you were doing Keisha's, because it's a cool story.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. So we have another caller. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
Hi, Dawn from Maine.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Call in for a medium reading?
Yes, please.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So, Dawn, I'm just going to put you on a little like musical hold here for a second while I call your people in, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Hold on one sec. All right. All right, Dawn, you still there?
I am.
Oh, great. So, Dawn, I always tell people to write stuff down. I don't know if you've been listening to me. So I have a woman here for you, Dawn, and she keeps showing me, like, I heard 50s at first, then I heard 60s. So I'm just going to say right around those ages. They've kind of been messing with me lately. Usually when I hear those, like a couple of decades together, just means that they acted a little younger than their actual age when they were on Earth. She is not telling me how she died. I asked Spirit a million questions. They only tell me what they want anyway. So she keeps making reference to her left side for me. It's almost like her left arm, her left leg. Like I just feel like she had something going on with the left side of her body. This woman. I'm trying to just ask her. I feel like she has, I don't want to say like sandy blonde hair, but that's the color that came into my mind. So I'm going to go with it. I don't think it's like, it doesn't seem like curly or anything like that. It just seems sort of like, I would say just straight. Like I'm trying to picture my mother's hair. She's got a perm, so it looks nice, but just, there's like, I don't want to say there's no attention to it. Like she just blow dried it and it was just like good, if that makes any sense to you. But it's like this sandy blondish color she keeps showing me. Trying to get some more info from her. She's showing me her hair though, and then she's going back to the hair for a second because I feel like she had her hair and I don't think she paid much attention to it. Like I said, like she just blow dried it and it was done. But then she keeps kind of referencing that then it just wasn't there. And then once it wasn't there, she actually was like, man, I miss my hair. You know, I wish I could style it. I wish I could do more stuff with it like that. Is this making any sense to you so far?
No.
It's okay. I just say it, write it down, and you'll figure it out. I promise. Let me see. I keep feeling like I keep hearing the words like spunky and fun. Although I do feel that I keep wanting to say her illness or her sickness, and I always just roll with what I say. Really, I think it slowed her down a lot, energetically. I don't say spiritually. And I keep hearing the word like maybe even into like this sort of like a depression of some sort. Just it really was rocking her, obviously. You know, and I keep the spirits just, I keep hearing another K name with this lady. So when I get names again, it's either the first letter of their first name or the first letter of their last name. And it can be for somebody living that's just kind of going to get you to her.
I'm stumped.
That's okay. It's like a deer in the headlights when I do my readings. Typically people, if people don't know who I have, I keep feeling like, so I keep hearing the word, I was like, I think I can say this one. I keep hearing the word breast, and I'm not sure if it has anything to do with like, I don't think it has anything to do with cancer. I haven't actually figured that out yet.
Are you saying breast or breath?
Breast, as in like a body part. I don't think it has anything to do with cancer or anything. I said it out loud because I kept hearing it. I don't know if it just has something to do with like her chest or something to that effect. Just one of my signs. I keep getting it. I haven't quite figured that one out. So I just wanted to say it out loud if maybe it resonated with you for something that was going on with this woman when you figure her out. I'm hearing like an S name as well, like an S as in Sam associated with her. I do feel like this person is living though, that she's trying to get me to you, which is funny because I just hit Sarah's foot and she's an S as well. But I feel like it's a person that she's trying to get you to figure out who she is with the S name. She's actually showing me a bunch of, the little like building blocks that have all the letters on them, letters and numbers and stuff colored.
Yeah.
They're like, wood, but they're colored. That's what she's showing me. So that could mean she was a teacher or something to that effect, but she's showing me all those different blocks. Usually when I see them, sometimes that's what they mean, that the person's a teacher. Like, as I said that to you, I thought of like my great Aunt Vi. So usually when they put people in my head, it might have something to do with you because she was a teacher.
I do know
that's okay.
of a teacher who is ill right now.
You do know of one, you said?
Yes.
She's ill right now, but not passed?
Yes. No, she has not passed.
Okay. Well, this lady has passed away.
Mhm.
But she might like be maybe related to that lady or something, you know, getting you to the right person or something, you know. I trust the spirit comes to us when they need to, and I trust them that you'll figure out who this lady is. But she got a lot of names though. I heard the letter A as well. I actually heard Anne, so a woman with an A name or a last name that starts with A. She's this funny one, but she's mentioning like broccoli. And I almost feel like a broccoli field, but I actually feel like you might have an idea of what that means, or whenever you figure her out.
Okay.
And again, I'm just throwing this out there. So my great aunt Vi is from like northern Maine, and there's broccoli fields everywhere, sort of thing, right? So, like that's what I thought of when I heard broccoli. So just for this woman,
okay.
you know, like something as like broccoli fields. So I just feel like it'll be when it all clicks together for you, you'll figure it out. Just trying to get a couple more things, and then at least the message I tell people is the most important part for you. I feel like when you figure out who she is, and when they're talking about her, I feel like she was just the kind of person that, not that she took life for granted by any means. It was just like when she got sick, she just realized obviously how beautiful life really is, you know. And then back to her hair again, she just keeps talking about that to me, that man, she wishes she would have not taken it for granted so badly when she was here. And I feel like I see her with a bandana and stuff. I feel like that'll be because she was never like a hair lady, you know, like she didn't care before. And not in a good or bad way. Just like, I feel like that's just one of the stories. That's why she keeps bringing it up to me, like that people would know about her.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get what she's showing me here. I'm asking her for like a message for you, and it's just funny / weird. She's like, sorry, Dawn, 1 sec. It's like I don't even think it's a message. She just keeps showing me like silk, like it just looks like fabric to me. I thought it was pillowcases at first, but it just looks like silk something. Or again, this might sound weird at the moment, but I know when you figure out who she is, it'll be like, oh my gosh, it totally makes sense. Maybe she made them or something. I'm not quite sure. So then her hair wouldn't get like stuck to it, or so. That's what I keep like. Or lack of hair, I guess, for that matter as well. But I think I know it'll make perfect sense when you figure it out, but I just had to say it out loud so then she could move on to like the next thing for me. And again, if you're not writing it down, you can hear all this again because it's being recorded. She just, so the image she's giving me for the message for you is that she's showing me like this, you know, the road in front of you, right? And she's showing me there's like a, looks like it's like a jump rope, you know, like panned out across the road. So you have this little obstacle in front of you that you could just keep tripping over. And it's literally as simple as just picking your foot up, you know, like right over it. It's not that high. If that's making any sense to you, what the image?
Sounds like a self-doubt thing.
Yeah, like she's just like, it's right there in front of you, and it's so easy to just step over. Yeah, almost like you're putting this block in front of you is what I keep hearing. You know, like it's just right there. Like just almost like I just keep hearing like, open your eyes, just open your eyes, and you can see it there. And all you have to do is just take a step right over it, and then it's almost like I just keep hearing like you're free and clear at that point. Once you're over this little, and I mean, like, you know how like the jump rope is just like awkward, you know, it's like, cause it's kind of curved up at both sides. So it's like, you got to step a little higher at one end, you know, it's like, I feel like it's a little cumbersome, but still, if you like, I just keep hearing, if you like concentrate and just take a step right at the, you know, just, I mean, like I would say aim a little higher, you know, like just go a little higher, then, you know, you're not going to trip over it, sort of thing. That is the message that she's giving you. I'm trying to explain it a little better for you because sometimes I see images and I'm trying to explain them to people listening, like, what are they saying to me? But I feel like you'll know exactly, like the moment when it happens, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh, geez, that's what Steph told me.
Well, yeah, I kind of think it has to do with school. So.
Oh, okay, even better. You already know what I'm talking about. Perfect.
Yeah, I think it has to do with schooling. So.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Dawn. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You as well.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Hey, guys. So you are back with me, your host of When Spirit Speaks, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. We are on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. I'm here tonight with my friend Sarah Woodward.
Hello, Steph.
Hey. Who is a spiritual educator, shaman, Reiki Master Teacher, and an author. Mouthful, total mouthful, but I love it. It's like, man. So what were you going to say about the first reading that I did?
Yeah. So, well, it was actually not about the first, like nothing to do with today's, but it just made me think about something.
No worries. Yeah.
Like my mind was kind of wandering.
Yeah,
it made
no,
me
I get
think about something.
Yeah.
I actually did a party for you at my house where you did a readings for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that night, like normally, like when I go see a medium or even with you, like they don't usually come to you to get to me. They just come to me because of all the thing, you know, and so I wasn't really expecting to get anything. And I remember it was like one of your last ones for the night and you're listing off all these things and nobody's claiming this person. Nobody's claiming them. And I'm writing and I'm just listening. And I finally, and it just clicked in my head and I jumped up and I was like, it's for me. And it wasn't even it
gives me the chills. I know.
It wasn't a relative or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually my neighbor from when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
And it eventually, like once it clicked, it all just made sense. And
yes,
and it was it was just such a cool thing because this was not a person that I, had thought of in years.
Yeah.
But she remembered me.
Correct. And thank you for that, Sarah, because it's like I try to tell that to people all the time. It's like I fully trust that spirit knows that I'm talking to you, first of all, and that I'm with people on the phone. I fully believe that they know where I'm at, and then whoever comes through is supposed to come through. And I always tell people, like, you will figure it out. I promise. It might just be, that friend that you met when you were a little kid, that was your neighbor or something.
Yeah, I mean, she was an elderly woman when I was a little girl, right?
Yeah.
But I had a very close relationship with her. I was super shy and introverted, and I fake it well now, but at the time I didn't. And I basically had an open door policy at her house. If she was home, I was allowed to just go in, and she had a cat and I liked to play with her cat. And she had bowls of M&Ms, and I was allowed to eat the M&Ms. And I kept waiting for M&Ms to come through. And because I was waiting for it, she never gave you that as a sign, of course. And it took me a while, and it finally just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, it's Anne.
Yeah.
And and when it clicks, it all just makes sense.
Yeah. And I try, and like sometimes I say, if I'm doing a reading and 15 of the things I say make sense and one doesn't, then okay, cool. Like maybe
It's
that
close
one
enough.
Was somebody popping in, somebody else popping in, but
It can happen.
Fully, most definitely, Anna, but I fully believe that it is, whoever I have is who I have, and it is for you. Sort of thing.
Yeah. And it was so cool to me because normally they don't go through a medium to come to me. They just come to me.
Correct. Yeah.
And, and so it was pretty neat to actually have one, do that.
Yeah. And I tell people, I've gotten readings. The last one I got, I have no idea who the guy was. Like the gentleman giving me the reading, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like I do this. I couldn't connect to the spirit myself.
Yeah.
Typically I can just tap on in and be like, hey, who is this? And then I couldn't. And he was giving me all this info. So I actually just wrote down everything. And I was like, okay, cool.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah. And there was a beautiful message. And then I got home and I asked my dad, and he was like, gosh, this sounds just like, my grandfather. So that was like my great grandfather who I never met. And the medium did tell me he passed away like in the 70s. So I was like, well, I wasn't born yet.
Right.
So, I had to believe that, it was the right person for me.
Right.
And it's like, so I don't want to say it's that simple.
I mean, and it was crazy because literally I think everyone else there had already claimed somebody except for me and one other person. And she came in going, I never get people. So of course she wasn't going to get a person. Right.
Yeah.
And so it was just, and so I'm just expecting this is for someone else. But the more I was listening, I was like, this is mine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. This one's for me.
Yes, I know. I almost forgot about that, but
it was super cool.
Yeah, the
It
home
was super
parties are
cool.
super fun. I do a bunch of home parties, and I come and just kind of read as a group, and then kind of do the same thing. So I just get one of the parties I did. It was the same thing. Like I got this guy and I had all this stuff about him, like this and that. And then I talked about like a necklace that he had, and this there was something else on the necklace, like a charm or something, but they didn't come together. Like somebody got the necklace, and then somebody gave the charm to put on the necklace, and there, like, I mean, I had like a million details, and then nobody, like, these people were trying to take this guy so badly, but somebody else didn't want to take him, like steal the spirit, so it was like guys, so eventually got it to the right person, because nobody wants to steal somebody's spirit during a party. But
right. But at the same time, if you think it's yours, just say so.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh.
If it's wrong, you'll figure it out.
I looked so silly before, and then it was like, oh my God, now I look super cool in like a matter of like 10 seconds. So.
Right.
All right, so we are going to go to a break. So I'll talk to you guys when you all come back.
You're listening to 1590 WSMN Nashua.
USA Radio News with Wendy King.
Virginia's governor promises to remain in office despite widespread calls for his resignation. Ralph Northam is trying to distance himself from a racist photo in his 1984 medical school yearbook. Meantime, Virginia Lieutenant Governor Democrat Justin Fairfax is denying sex assault allegations against him.
I met her at the convention. We met and talked, and I did not know her prior to. I was 25 years old, unmarried, a campaign staffer at the time, and we hit it off. She was very interested in me, and so eventually at one point we ended up going to my hotel room. This is in 2004. She was, very much into consensual encounter.
Fairfax's aides say the Washington Post investigated the allegations about a year ago and chose not to publish the story. You're listening to USA Radio News.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If you're making the minimum payments, but your balance is just not going down, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it will take years to get out of debt, call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 5 million people with credit card debt. They can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rate, and get you out of debt fast. If you're struggling with credit card debt, the first step is yours. Call Consolidated Credit now. Call 800-406-0046. 800-406-0046. That's 800-406-0046. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Not a loan company. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services or by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19, Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission. License number DC 32.
Longtime soap star Christoph St. John has died. No cause has been given. He starred in The Young and the Restless for 27 years.
While I was walking around with a cane, learning Braille, living my life in a black hole, you're stripping down my wife, you're taking her to bed, and you didn't want to hurt me? How long has this been going on?
Jason Carter of Entertainment Tonight.
Christoph was known for his beloved character Neil White on Young and the Restless. He was a 2-time daytime Emmy Award winner.
St. John was 52 years old. More than 3,700 active duty troops are heading for the U.S.-Mexico border, which brings the total to more than 4,000. Their job is to put up concertina wire and provide surveillance for Customs and Border Protection. The surveillance mission will last until September. Critics have called the deployment political. Some members of Congress have questioned whether the border mission is distracting troops from fighting extremists abroad and training for combat. This is USA Radio News.
With a recession ending, if you've been putting off building your business, now is the time to act. General Steel will meet or beat any price on a pre-engineered steel building of the same size and specifications. Act now before steel prices go up. So call us today for free information.
Call 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290, 800-965-1290.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers have made a record drug seizure in Arizona involving fentanyl and methamphetamines. With more, here's John Clemens.
The seizure is the largest in the history of the agency. Teresa Small of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection tells us what they found in a hidden compartment of a trailer that was loaded with cucumbers.
It also had about 300 packages of methamphetamine that weighed almost 395 pounds. So it not only had the fentanyl, it also had methamphetamine. Collectively, the dangerous drugs that were seized had an estimated value of $4.6 million.
I'm John Clemens.
This year's Super Bowl was followed by an announcement regarding next year's Super Bowl. Here's USA's Chris Barnes.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell holding a news conference on the morning after Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta to announce that Super Bowl 54 will be played at the Hard Rock Stadium in suburban Miami again.
This will be their 11th Super Bowl, which will be the most in the league, at least for a short period of time, till New Orleans gets another one.
Meanwhile, Boston will throw a Tuesday morning parade for the champion Patriots after Super Bowl 53. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Take us with you on your mobile device and listen anytime at usaradio.com. For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Rosenthal. Here's what's happening for southern New Hampshire. Overnight, mainly clear and not cold. Temperatures by morning and low in mid-30s. Tomorrow, very mild with a mixture of sun and clouds. It'll be in the mid-50s. Then the cold front moves through by day's end. And Wednesday, sun, high clouds. It'll be cooler near 40. Rain and sleet could arrive here by Wednesday night. Certainly stay tuned. I'm Mark Rosenthal reporting for WSMN 1590 and WLMW 90.7 in Manchester.
It's 45 degrees. It's 9:06.
Welcome to When Spirits Speak with Steffanie Damboise. Steffanie has always been gifted, but it wasn't until her 20s that Spirit began guiding her to her new path, being led from one piece of the puzzle to the next. Steffanie found herself moving from meditation to mediumship classes. Join her now as she connects you with spirit and past loved ones and teaches you how to tap into your own gifts as an empath, healer, and intuitive. Now your host, Steffanie Damboise.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my show, When Spirit Speaks, and you are listening to me, your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, and we are on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And tonight I am here with my friend, Sarah Woodward.
Hey, Steph.
Hey. So Sarah is a spiritual educator. She's a shaman. She is a Reiki Master Teacher, and she is an author. Coming a long way, girl.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Sarah and I met probably, 4 or 5 years ago at this point we were talking about, and we kind of vibrate on this higher level so we can actually like chat with each other about, which sounds like really weird things to the rest of the world.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier how it's actually really hard for us sometimes to talk to quote unquote regular people.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to anybody. Like,
no,
we love all
all
of you. Like,
yes.
We really do. We love all of you. But we sometimes have a really hard time having like what most people would consider a normal conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. Or just like when I'm trying to give like, hey, I really feel like this might not be a good, actually we were talking about how 4 or 5 people were supposed to get together, these lady friends of ours. And I just said, hey, I feel like this isn't going to happen. I feel like something, I don't know.
And literally just like that. Like, it wasn't judgmental. It was literally just, I feel like this isn't going to happen.
I feel like this isn't going to happen. So just let me know like the day of, or I don't even know, like literally I was like, let me know that day if we're still doing this. And oh my gosh, that turned into like a female brawl on a
over text
group
or whatever.
Texting.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was just one of those moments I was like, oh my gosh, Steffanie, you cannot speak like to lay people about
they don't get it.
They just, oh my gosh. And just so everybody knows, I actually was correct. My friend ended up.
It did not.
It didn't happen. Yeah, I was like, no, I don't even need to go into details.
There's
but
not. Yeah, it
the
just
moment,
didn't happen.
The day that everybody's supposed to get did not happen. Go figure.
Right.
And then just everything else I do. Every other group I'm in, I just say, hey, I'm just going to give my little tidbit of advice, and then it's like I go to Sarah and I'm just like, people just don't really. And not that I want people to take advantage of me by any means. It's like, dude.
But
when I tell you, like, yo, this feels weird, you might want
to pay
me.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. Yeah, I would say I'm not Yoda.
If we were, maybe they'd listen.
Right, I know.
We both run into this issue all the time where it's like, I just, I don't feel good about that situation. I'm not going to go to that thing. And people are like, but it'd be really good for you or your business. Maybe, but I don't feel good about it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Like, and I just, any moment, and again, it's like When Spirit Speaks is the name of my show, and that's what I do. And it's, I was like, drove 2 hours to go hike Mount Garfield, I believe, one day, because I am hiking all the 4,000 footers, right?
Yay!
So, yeah, thanks, girl. I have 8 of them left. I've had 8 left for like 5 years, but I mean, whatever.
Go, girl.
So, yeah, I got 40 of them
If any of
done.
them are like not Mount Tecumseh level difficult, I can get my hiking boots and train a little and go with you.
Yeah, I did. I've done that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that one is annoying.
Yeah, they're out there. So I just love it up there. It's like my zen.
It is beautiful. Yes.
I drove though 2 hours. I hiked an hour up Mount Garfield, and then literally it felt like I was being pushed down the mountain.
So you left.
And this was before I even like said this stuff out loud and everything. I felt like I was like, my feet were stuck in the mud. Like, that's, it was just that intense for me. And I was like, okay, I will turn around. And I literally, I turned around, I walked right back down. So it took me like 45 minutes to get down, and I drove 2 hours back home. And then later that day, I actually heard that a man had been attacked by a bear.
See?
On that mountain. And I was like, no way. Even though I was like, I already knew,
But you
right?
know,
But
yeah, you like when spirit speaks. And it's interesting because for my final shaman initiation, we got to design our own initiation with spirit's help and stuff. And I felt very called to go and hike Mount Uncanunic, which is in Goffstown, which I'm sure you know because you're right near there.
Yep.
And I am known for being the slowest hiker on the mountain. First of all, I am very, very short. So like a normal person takes one step, I take 2 to 3. And I'm very slow. And I love being out in the woods and in the nature, and I want to just enjoy it. So I don't feel any rush to get to the top. So I'm a very slow hiker, and it drives most people crazy. So I often hike by myself. And this time it was appropriate to do that anyways. And I had, I kind of had a sort of a plan because I had this whole ceremony figured out and whatever. And it was amazing because Mount Uncanunic is a very easy hike. And so it's a very popular mountain.
Yeah,
Both of them. There's north and south for people that don't know that. And they're both very popular. And literally, I saw one person the entire time I was on the mountain. One. And my whole a big part of my ceremony took place at the top, and there was no one at the top. That is unheard of. It was a beautiful day. It is in the summer, like it is unheard of. But it was clearly like the spirit just said, no, like you need to make a way. And the person that I did see was sitting on, there's certain trees in this area that you can tell at one point they were deliberately bent and then they grew back up. They almost look like an arm, like bent like this. And what I've heard is that actually Native Americans used to bend the trees down to point to different, sites of theirs and stuff. And the only person I saw on that hike was sitting in the crotch of that tree, commenting, like, Dad, look at me, I'm riding a horse or whatever, some little kid comment. And I explained about this Native American thing, and they just thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, that's so cool.
That was it. That was my whole interaction with the human world for this entire hike, and how appropriate that it was,
Spirit knows what you
Spirit
need.
knows exactly what it's doing.
Yeah, most definitely. So if you're just tuning in, guys, you are listening to me, your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, on When Spirit Speaks on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And I'm here tonight with my friend, Sarah Woodward.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Sarah is a spiritual educator. She's a shaman, a Reiki Master Teacher, and an author. And just super cool all around. Peeps.
And that means more than all of those other titles.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. So right now, if you've been listening to my show ever before, I usually at this time we pull some cards for everybody. So have a little guidance for the week. So if you were listening, you can pick number 1, number 2, or number 3, and we'll give you some guidance for the week here. So I did pull a few cards. So you ready, Sarah?
I'm ready, girl.
The first card.
Let me see.
Innocence is the card.
Okay.
So number 1, I know people can't really see my cards very well. Oh, you can't see it at all. It's the Innocence card. It's so cute. It's really, when I pull this one, I feel like lots of times this one has a lot to do with the rest of the cards around it. But in this sense, I kept thinking about how I feel about it.
I've got mine, but I'll wait for you.
Yeah, I feel, and this is why we love cards. So I was going to kind of quickly say what I thought, and then Sarah was going to say what she thought. And that's how I think that we both read cards.
Yeah.
We kind of just feel what we feel.
Spirit tells us what they mean.
Yeah, from the card. So what I'm feeling from the Innocence card is more like this, just, I don't want to say sense of childhood, but just sense of like, and I'm saying like I'm feeling like in a certain situation that people are potentially in. I feel like the innocence card is telling us to maybe take a step back. And I feel like, and I want to say, look at it like through the eyes of a child, in this innocent sort of way, but that's how I'm feeling about the card. So if anybody, for me at least, pulled one, the innocence card, yeah, I think if you're in some situation, I feel like there's always different sides to everything that's going on. And I feel like at this moment for you, it needs to be looked at differently. And like, I just want to say clear eyes, or, I don't want to say purity, or, like a, you know what I'm saying? Like a clean sort of this innocent sort of thought process, if that makes sense. I feel like it
makes sense.
Makes sense to me. What do you feel about this card, Sarah?
So it was similar, a little bit different, but similar. I kind of got that it was about, and funnily enough, this connects with the new moon that we are in today.
Yeah. Today's the new moon.
I feel like it was about releasing those things that are stealing your innocence, that don't bring you joy, like we were talking about before. Whether it's people, whether it's stuff, whether it's a job, whatever. If there's something in your life that's stealing your innocence, then it's time to release that with love, and thank it for what it brought you when you needed it. But if you no longer need it, to let it go.
I love that. I love that thought about it. And I feel like it's still almost like you're like, yeah. And then I just, of course, we both hear things when we're here. It's the same thing. It's like, letting it go. And then sometimes I'm hearing like some people that like pick this card maybe just can't let it go at that, at this point in their life. So it's almost like, I feel like that's like the seeing it in a different way.
Yeah.
But if you're lucky enough to be able to let it go, roll with it. That's what I always say. Super cool. So we're going to go to card number 2. It's the Ancestors card.
Let me see. I need to see them.
That's okay. Yeah. So for me, when I pull the Ancestors card, because this is back and I use it a lot. So
this is my first time ever seeing it, really. So
and it's cool. I love that. I love the different perspective. So the Ancestors card for me, when I pull that for people, it is just letting you know that there is, it is typically somebody related when I pull it, but it's usually always been a female in spirit that is kind of poking her way through for you in the physical world, trying to let you know that she's around you and she's helping guide you through whatever's happening in your life right now. So I feel like I'm just letting people know to kind of be aware of your surroundings, and I always say, tell people, keep it simple. Aunt Joe pops in your head or something and you got the chills. Okay, cool. Or Aunt Joe pops in your head and you actually just feel cool but don't have the chills, or there's so many different ways. And I tell people, like, maybe Aunt Sue passed away from a heart attack and just randomly your heart's pounding really hard and you just don't know why. And then I'm usually like, that's a dead person. Or you're just completely out of breath. These things took me a very long time to figure out.
Right.
Like, I just walked up 3 stairs and I'm ridiculously out of breath. And then little did I know, one of my ex-boyfriend's like grandparents passed away, had like a COPD or something. Like, they just could not breathe in the end. I'm not sure if that's how they passed away, but I'm like, oh my God, like your dead grandfather or something's been with me for like every time around you. It was like just that sort of thing. So anyway, I feel like that's, when I pull this card, at least that's what it is. So just look out for these signs from whomever, Nana, grandma, aunt, whoever, mom, just a woman. It's usually, for me, it's always usually a woman. But what did you feel about that card, Sarah?
Again, slightly similar and also different. So for me, it was very much about what can you learn from your ancestors. Like both of my maternal grandparents passed away recently, within the past year and a half or something. And I learned like so much from them, and I didn't even realize how much until they were gone. And I think I'm still sort of picking through all the things that I learned from them. So, but for me, that card was like, what can you learn from them? Maybe they're not even ancestors that you knew during your lifetime, but like, what can you learn from them in some way?
That's beautiful. I like that. I love this. And that's why I always tell people to go to different mediums and go to different card readers and because everybody, we all feel things differently. We all interpret differently.
Right.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It is.
It is.
And I always say that, particularly for spirit work, it's important to go to somebody that you connect with. Like that you feel like you might be friends with in a different type of situation or whatever, because you're going to get the reading that makes the most sense to you from that person, because your energies already understand each other.
Yeah. As much as like different times in your life, like however their energies are, I don't know. I just feel like it's always good to go just to see how other people
totally
work and feel.
Yep.
And again, if you're just tuning in with us, you are listening to When Spirit Speaks with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. And I have my friend, Sarah Woodward, on the show tonight.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Sarah. So Sarah is a spiritual educator, a shaman, a Reiki Master Teacher, and an author.
Yay. Many things.
I know. And yeah, we are on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. So we are pulling some cards here. I always tell people to pick like 1, 2, or 3. Sarah and I are giving you a little weekly guidance until next Monday. So we already pulled 1 and 2. It was innocence and ancestors. And then so number 3. Oh, funny card since we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
It is the protection card.
Okay.
So usually, beautiful card. Yeah. So usually when I pull this card, I love these cards.
There's some massive energy coming off that one. I didn't mean to just grab it out of your hand.
No, that's you like made me bleed. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't. It was like protection card is reminding you that you need, and it's usually energetic protection. It's how I feel this card usually. It's just letting you know you need a little bit extra protection or a lot of extra protection at this point. In whatever's happening in your life. And energetic protection, so like you have like people sucking the life out of you around you. Like vampires, as I call them, energy vampires.
I call them leeches, but yeah,
yes,
same thing.
You know, like just it's there are a lot of empathetic people or empaths like myself, and I think that you are an empath as well.
I've never like
potentially.
claimed that title,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that I am in some way.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like a true empath. I literally know when people are like pregnant because I get morning sickness. I mean, I'm that empath.
Yeah.
Which took me a little while.
And I feel like I'm more like claircognizant, where I just know things.
Yeah.
Because I know things. And
Yeah.
I can't tell you why I know. I just know.
So I feel, on top of everything else, I feel a lot with my body. So it's like I need a lot more, and not that more or less than you need, but I know I need a lot of protection energetically. So it's different for everyone. I try to tell people like to, I don't want to say Google it, but I sound psychotic when I say like I literally put a bubble of, you're fine, Sarah, but I put like this bubble of that's the one I picked. That's what my mom said. I saw that, Mom. So you need to protect yourself, Mom. Energetic energy. So I put like this bubble around my body, like literally, and I just say I call in Archangel Michael and I asked him to put this white light bubble around me to protect me from everybody around me, everybody else's energy, because I do not want it, sort of thing. So this card, it's a full moon. We were saying, or not a full moon. I'm sorry. It's a new moon. So we were chatting about that earlier. But yeah, I'm feeling like this card, it's always calling people to put an extra like layer of protection around you. And then also I cut cords. I don't know if you do that.
I
thing.
do. Yep.
I cut the cords. I'm like people can see me. The Facebook people can. I cut cords like that from my 7 major chakras that anything negative is attached itself to me. So I do that visually a lot. I just get rid of anything that is attached itself to me. So it's kind of like a protection
thing to
start. So what did you feel about that one since you
totally the
bled
same
me
thing. Yeah.
When you grabbed it out of my hand.
Totally the same thing, that you need more protection. And I loved your white light little like description or whatever.
Yeah.
I have something similar that I do, but being a shaman and very, very invested in trees and very connected to trees. My meditation is actually about a tree, and it's both grounding and protection, because I feel like grounding is a big part of being protected. And so the meditation I do is like tree roots growing out of my feet, and then like the trunk making me stable all the way up, and then the branches grow out and then around and envelop me in the branches, and then the leaves of the branches are both slippery and rubbery, so anything that comes at me will either slide or bounce off.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny, sometimes when I go to bed at night, it looks, you know, like when the Jolly Green Giant, when they push him over, and like I think that's, and like all the little people like tie him up.
Oh, Gulliver
or something.
Yes,
sorry, you know
Gulliver.
what I'm saying? Okay, I'm like, what am I saying?
No, it's Gulliver. That's from Gulliver's Travels.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know what I'm saying.
No, that's okay. And the little people are the Lilliputians.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I'm like, I don't know, there's a big person and little people, and they're tying each other up, or tying him up. But
Jolly Green Giant works. I knew what you meant.
Okay.
I got there.
That's how I picture like I picture roots coming up, but in that sort of sense, when I'm laying in bed, that's just my quick, like I ground myself.
That's how you ground yourself.
Yeah, I'm
before
like,
you go
all
to
right, I
sleep.
asked for the roots to come up and just like kind of envelop me,
That's
or
cool.
whatever.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Because that's just like we talked about our visual aids. I love when people share them, because everybody's brain works differently. So
Right, exactly.
I can picture that kind of easily. So, and it probably took me a while to get there, but just another like ground myself, protect myself, cut the cords sort of thing.
I have to do it all. And the other thing that I do for it's part of protection is a cleansing, like a shamanic cleansing with smoke. A lot of people use sage. I find sage really nauseating, so I don't use it.
Yeah.
I use my own sacred herbs, but actually just today I've been walking around for like a week going, I just don't feel like myself. And I had journeyed, and I had I do that a lot of times when I just don't feel like myself and I can't tell why. It's because a lost soul needs me to help escort them home, which as a shaman, I'm very privileged to be able to do.
Yeah.
And not something everyone should do, as you well know. But for those listening, don't try this at home.
Yeah.
This is one of those commercials where they say, don't try this at home, people.
Yeah.
And so I finally realized, I'm like, you need to cleanse. And as soon as I did, I felt better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's really just, I mean, it's a lot of work that we do.
We
put in a lot of work for all of this, and not that it's easy by any means, but
no, but it also, I can't imagine doing anything else. Like, it's why I'm here.
Oh no, exactly. We want to change the world, both of us.
And we will.
We will.
We will.
One person at a time, spreading love and joy and positivity and all that good stuff, and just helping anybody, I guess anybody and anybody. But so yeah, again, if you're listening, just tuning in with us, you were listening to When Spirit Speaks with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise, on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And then we have my friend in here tonight, Sarah Woodward.
Hey, girl.
I don't know why I emphasize your name every time. It's just funny to me, Woodward. I don't know.
You know what? Everyone does that, so I think there's some reason. I don't know what it is yet, but there's clearly a reason
or something. I have no idea why I keep
doing that to you.
that
You know what
to
the interesting thing is? It's actually not even my maiden name. It's my abusive ex-husband's name that I never got rid of because I didn't know what to change it to. And by the time I figured out what to change it to, it was kind of too late. So I kept it. And instead of making it about, oh, he was abusive to me, I've made it a source of power. Like, yeah, you know what? You tried to take my power and my identity, but you know what? Instead I have yours. Ha ha.
Yeah, that's good. You always got to flip it around and turn it into some power, energy.
Yeah. So maybe that's why people emphasize it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
I oddly was like, I don't know why I'm saying this weird, but so yeah, if you're just tuning in, Sarah is a spiritual educator. She's a shaman. She's a Reiki Master Teacher and an author. Can you quickly just explain what a shaman technically is? I feel like I get that question a lot.
Oh boy. Okay, quickly.
We're probably going to break in a few minutes. You don't have much time. So
yeah. So shamans work at a soul level. That's why we can escort souls home, but we also work with living people, but at a soul level. We go so deep that it can be frightening for people. But it's all with the intention of healing, both emotionally, spiritually, and in some cases physically, because all of our energy bodies are connected. And so if you're having physical symptoms, it may not actually be coming from your physical body. It may be coming from your energetic body, and somebody like me can go in and remove that. I think I actually did that with you one time. Yeah. And actually start to make some healing in your physical body. Because once that emotional issue is gone, there's a lot more to it than that.
No, I know. But and I was explaining, because I have another friend, Dave, who's a shaman, and he was just saying, just simple one, I'm not sure if you think the same way, but it was just shamans in Native American culture were just they saw at night, right? Some sort of thing. Are they night vision?
Some did.
Of sorts?
Yeah, some did. But even that was still working with souls, right? It's always
yeah.
And the thing is that shamanism is part of every tribal culture across the globe, and every tribe embraces it a little bit differently and practices it a little bit differently. So it's hard to give anyone this is exactly how it looks, because they all the what's are the same. They all work with souls, they all work with spirit guides, but the how they do it is different across every tribe. So it's very hard to some do the night seeing, some do journeying, some use peyote, some never touch a substance like that ever. So it's really you can't just say this is exactly what it is.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I kind of like it that way, actually.
I do too.
And I was just saying, I did my first shamanic journeying class, and it was just really cool. Nothing I ever thought that I might want to journey down, no pun intended there, shamanic journey, but yeah, it was so cool, and I liked every moment of it. My friend asked does it help heal anxiety on
Absolutely.
Facebook?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like Sarah was anxiety.
Oh my God, I was
just kidding.
The poster child for anxiety.
Yeah.
Listen, for people that understand what this means, I'm an INFJ, and Steph and I were just talking about this earlier. I am the poster child for introverts. I am the poster child for I am not leaving my house unless I absolutely have to.
I think that's why we like became friends, because I'm like, want to go party. Like,
right? And I'm always like,
me.
no.
Mhm.
But I healed my anxiety. I healed my fibromyalgia.
Mhm.
It can do anything.
Yeah.
With the right practitioner.
Most definitely, yeah. So, Lacey, you can hit her up. So we are going to probably take some live calls when we come back here. So again, we'll be doing some free medium readings. If you're interested, the number is 603-816-1590. So when we come back from the break, we will be doing those readings. So definitely give us a call and I'll see what I can do for you. Thanks, guys.
You're never too old, too wacky, too wild to pick up a book and read with a child. This is Scott McGilvray, President of the National Education Association, New Hampshire. Reading to your child now can spark a lifetime of reading and learning. Parents, we know you're tired at the end of the long day, but by taking just a few minutes to read with your child, you'll be setting them on a path towards reading and learning on their own. And studies show students who read, and I read too, do better in school and in life. So have books that interest your child around the home. If your child enjoys sports, have books about sports. If your child enjoys ballet, have books about dancing. With parents and teachers working together, every child in New Hampshire can learn to read, and reading may be the most important thing they'll ever learn.
Great public schools are a basic right for every student. A message from NEA New Hampshire.
Title Boxing Club is the best and only authentic full-body boxing workout that changes your body, clears your mind, and completely engages your spirit. Our signature workout utilizes the fundamentals of a true boxer's workout, including proper heavy bag training to strengthen and tone your arms, legs, back, core, stamina, and your confidence. Empowering, exhilarating, and totally addictive. This is your new favorite workout class. Visit them online at TitleBoxingClub.com or call 603-206-5608. That's 206-5608 and begin today.
You know that the ice cream scoop can make a child smile, and that by slowing us down, the traffic light can keep us going. You know that the lawnmower makes life easier, that the blood bank makes life possible. But did you know all these ideas came from the minds of African Americans? Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. This cat makes me make art. He's always motivating me to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. He's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Keyboard Cat, YouTube star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Start yours today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. You are listening to When Spirit Speaks with your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, which is me on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio. And tonight I am here with my friend Sarah.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Sarah is a spiritual educator. She's a shaman. She's a Reiki Master. I knew I would mess it up at least once. Reiki Master Teacher. And then she is an author as well.
Nasty is a whole new thing.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty forever now. So we do have a caller on the line. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi, Rebecca. It's Steffanie.
Hi, Steffanie.
Hi, thanks so much for calling.
Thank you.
Where are you from, Rebecca?
I'm in Windham, New Hampshire.
Windham, all right. Cool. So I'm going to put you on a little musical hold for a second while I call in your family. You wanted a medium reading, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So hold on one sec, Rebecca. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Rebecca. So I have a gentleman here for you, and I always tell people to just write stuff down. I don't know if you've been listening to me or not, but to write it down. And if you don't, you can listen to this forever because it'll be recorded. So I have a gentleman here for you. I'm hearing I'm hearing 70s, 80s ish when he passed away. Usually when they do the 2 decades like that for me, it just means they acted a little younger than their age when they were here on Earth. The first thing he has for me is this, it's actually kind of funny, but he is like walking around with like an ashtray, like old school. I don't want to say old school, but he has like this glass little ashtray in his hand and is just like, I feel like it's for him, like he's smoking and it's easier to walk around with the ashtray to put the ashes in, while he's doing, and I'm not sure if that means he was just always on the move or something, if that's how I'm assuming you would potentially know what he's meaning by that. But I feel like it was easier because he was always like, maybe just always walking around or something, or just lazy, either one. I'm not really sure, but does this make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of. I was asking how he passed, but like I said, they just tell me what they want to tell me, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Let me see what else he's saying. So I feel like he is showing me. They've been showing me their hair a lot today. It seems like it's like. I don't know. I'm kind of laughing, so I'm not sure if he's joking about it or not, but I feel like it looks like it has a lot of color, and then it goes to like this salt and pepper, like, like a nice gray, I guess, like a nice solid gray. But then he shows me it like pretty light gray, pretty like, and I'm not sure if it was a quick transition or just why he was showing it to me like that, but that's how he kind of showed it to me.
Okay.
I'm just going to get a few more things here. Just get what I can. So if I go silent on you, that's just because I'm talking to dead people. He does keep like touching his chest for me, and they've been doing that a lot for me. So it could mean that, he had something going on with his chest before he passed or when he passed. And then sometimes it's just literally meant that they're trying to just, send you some love from above when they're kind of just touching their heart like that. So I do keep hearing sailor with him.
Okay.
Does it make sense for you?
Oh yeah, this is
okay.
I have a pretty clear idea of who it is.
Okay. I keep and I don't know, they have white suits, right? White, like dress suits or something? I don't even know.
Sometimes.
Maybe it's old school. I have no idea. I keep seeing him in this like
probably the Coast Guard.
Okay. I was like, I just keep seeing him in this white. It looks like it's a dress uniform, but it's white for some reason. But okay. So, he keeps handing me this ashtray. Do you have some of his ashtrays or something? Or like, does that make sense to you?
Well, yes, because obviously this matches with my grandfather, which is interesting because he's never come through, and I've had a lot of people cross and different things, but he was a smoker, a big time smoker, and he had emphysema, and that's how he passed. And he was in the Coast Guard. Okay. So all of the things are lining up. Specifically the ashtray, other than, knowing that he was a smoker, I don't know if I have
Okay.
his ashtray.
That's okay. Yeah. And I'm getting total chills. I feel like you're on the right path. That's why I love when people like tell me stories about their loved ones who passed away. He just keeps like handing me, it's one of the things I keep asking for lately. Like, do you have a gift for this person? And he just keeps giving me this ashtray, and it looks very like, I don't want to say old school, but like, like the, like blue glass or something like that, like, I don't know if my friend's parents, were smokers, and that's the only real smokers that I knew in my life. But they had these very cool like ashtrays. I don't know. It was just the silly things that I can remember about that. But so anyway, he keeps giving me that. Let me see what else he'll say to me. One sec. Okay. So he is giving me or just showing me, I guess, it looks like a ribbon, but it looks more like a sash than a ribbon, but it looks like it's over like a headstone, and it looks it looks red to me, the sash. Like the ones that are like around like a wreath, I guess, like, like at the funeral, like the flowers sort of thing. Like it looks like it's that sort of ribbony wreath thing, but I feel like it's just put right on the headstone of some sort. Is how it looks like he's showing it to me. I feel like it's like in a remembrance of sort of thing. If that's making any sense to you. And I'm not sure if somebody like just did this or
right. Or he wants it done.
Yeah, sometimes that's how this works. Because I felt like it was more recent, sort of thing. Like, or if you're planning something already, is there something in the works? Maybe like I'm asking him more as I'm chatting here with him. Like, if somebody's planning some sort of remembrance for him, or dedication or something like that. Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
That's the word that popped in my head. But I almost feel like somebody will be like presenting this sash of some sort, like, to put over his grave. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just planning the whole thing right now for you, or he's planning it. But he's literally like putting an ashtray on the ground in front of the stone. I don't know what's up with these ashtrays. I'm sorry, but he's like literally like putting one in front of like this grave or plaque or something, right? Like, but I feel like not, unless he just had a hilariously sick sense of humor, kind of like myself. But I feel like it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be like sad, like,
right.
Okay. I'm like, gosh, don't take that the wrong way. I feel like like I'm laughing with it. Like, I feel like it's supposed to be a joke.
Right. I think, he's very sarcastic.
Okay. I'm like, this is supposed to be funny, as I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, Stephanie, you're talking to dead people. Like,
right. Oh no.
But he's funny about it. Did he do, so he's back to his hair again. Did he do something with his hair? Like, it's like this, like, this really black color all of a sudden, but I feel like it's like he put like, I don't want to say grease in it or something like that, but like, or this shoe polish or something. I just feel like it's something that would make it ridiculously black.
He could have. Probably not when I knew, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if I ask and it happened.
Okay.
But not in my remembrance of him.
Okay, yeah, no worries. He just keeps like referring back to it, and it just looks like ridiculously black. Like he put something weird in it or something, and it's I feel like it's a funny story, like life lesson story. Like he thought it would do, obviously like make his hair black, and then it was like, wow, that was a bad idea.
Okay.
So you can ask about that one. Let me see what else he says real quick here.
Because my family loves when I say, hey, I talked to a psychic about.
Do they really or no?
I mean, they just so used to it at this point.
Perfect. Okay, good. I always tell people like, gosh, don't feel obligated, like to be like, yo, I talked to this medium and she talked to dead so and so, and this is what So I'm like, don't feel obligated to do that.
Yeah. That was funny.
He did it do. I know it's a little more difficult when they're really quick reading, so I'm like trying to get some decent stuff. You know what? He actually just jumped right into like a message for you of some sort here. So he's like, he's showing me, so I get a lot of visuals. He's showing me like a tug of war, with a rope. Okay. And it looks like there's like two homes on either side of it. So I'm not sure if that's just me seeing like, I don't know, but two different houses on each side. They just look like they're just like in a neighborhood, and they're sitting like, just the houses next door to each other. But he's making me feel like how like you can see there's like the middle of the rope, and there's like usually like a ribbon or something tied to it, so you know where the middle is. He's showing me it being pulled back and forth like to either side, but at this point I feel like it's already like pulled like far over to one side. I don't know if you've made your decision about two potential things these days, or you feel like you have made your decision. But he's kind of like validating it for you, like, yes, like it's time to I don't know, say like pick the side. Like like kind of let go of the rope, I guess, or something like that, like whichever side you feel more, no pun intended, but feel more pulled toward, that he's like saying, yes, like, there you go. Like you've won pretty much, or something like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm like,
I mean, there's plenty of examples like that, but I feel like the one that came through first for me.
Okay, I always tell people like just keep it simple, like whatever popped in your head. Like when I was talking about a situation or something, whichever one popped in your head. But I feel like the way I feel like he's making me, like, you've pulled it, or you've made your decision, so you've won the tug of war, and now it's time to like cut it, like let go, sort of thing. Like no need to pull back and forth. Like you've already made your decision and you've won. It's like the winning is making your decision. So, but anyway, that's that is the message he has for you. So thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This is fun.
Oh, awesome.
Have a great night.
Thank you, you too. All right. Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're all listening. So you're with me, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, your host of When Spirit Speaks. And tonight I'm with Sarah Woodward, a friend of mine.
Hey, you.
With 17 titles, which I just keep messing up. So we're just going to flow with it.
That's fine. I think at this point everybody's heard them, and they're on the Facebook thing.
And they're
so
on
it's
Facebook,
fine.
And you can check out Sarah's Facebook page. It's Stonebridge Transformation. And then she has a website, stonebridgetransformation.com. And then the same with me. I have a Facebook page. It's Steffanie with 2 Fs, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. And then my website's exactly my name, StephanieDamboise.com. And you can probably Google me too, and just keep the 2 Fs in there. You'll find me. So I am doing some live reading still. We have a few minutes left. If anybody calls in, it's 603-816-1590.
And if no one does, you can do me.
I know, right? Well, I was like, or I could pull a card. I was thinking the same thing. Like if nobody does, I can pull a card too for you or something. I know I haven't read the person sitting next to me yet. At this point, I'm like, I don't know why. I just like, it's like, like how this goes when you're a medium, it's like most people don't believe you anyway.
Yes.
So, and then it's
most people don't believe me either.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not a medium, but they still don't believe me.
I never wanted to do the person sitting next to me because then they'll be like, oh my God, you guys are. I just feel like there's so much room for doubt.
I'm going to believe you.
Well, I don't care. No, I know you're going to believe me. I mean, the listeners, like, I know you'll believe me. That doesn't, you don't count. No, I was kidding.
Hello, I talk to trees.
In a loving way, you don't count. No, I know you'll believe me, but everybody like listening or watching will be like, oh my God, they were like,
they
sign language into each other,
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's like, that's a little bit ridiculous. So I'm like, no, I just like, that's why the bar I work at part-time, they keep being like, yeah, let us come on the show. Like you can read us. And I'm like, that is not what I do on the show, guys. You're not listening to me.
They obviously don't listen to the show.
Well, no, one of them actually has listened to a few of my episodes. He actually just
then they should call in if they want you.
I know. I was like, they want to be on the show though. They want to come on my show. So I'm like, guys, you can come on the show, but that's just not what we do. It's not how I do my show.
Right.
So, all right. We have another caller on the line.
There you go. You're saved.
I'm saved. Saved him, Sarah. Hi, Kim.
Yes.
Hi, Kim from Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Sweet. Thanks so much for calling in.
Uh-huh.
You would like a medium reading tonight?
Please.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So just give me a minute here, Kim. I'm going to put you on like a musical pause for a sec, okay? Just so I can call in your family.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, one sec. All right. Good. All right, Kim. So thanks for holding there. So Kim, I actually got a younger woman for you. So yeah, it's right there. I have to go kind of quick this time. So I did hear 30s for this woman. And then I don't normally say like a relationship per se, but I just felt like a sister, friend, or, something to that effect, like somebody that maybe like a sister or a friend or cousin or something, I don't know, but something to that effect.
Okay.
And I just keep hearing like accident with this woman.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you?
Uh-huh.
I did hear the word tragic. Is it like a tragic accident?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to hear that. Those ones are tough. I hate when I hear that word. And I know that most deaths are kind of life altering, but I feel like that's the words I keep hearing from her. Like it was just a life altering time, I guess, or moment, when she passed.
Uh-huh. It's been a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Okay, I feel like just for a lot of people is what she's just kind of giving me the chills when I say that. So it's like, I feel like she changed a lot of lives when she passed away.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Now you're giving me chills.
Yeah. So, and I'm looking up, there's a heart on the wall here, but I keep looking up and I keep seeing like hearts, and the way I feel about it is that she like kind of left like this heart imprint on like everybody she met, sort of thing. I feel like she just was that kind of gave her heart, a little piece of her heart to everyone.
Definitely, yeah.
And she is bringing up like February. I did hear February 14th, so I'm not sure if that's actually just an important day to her, or if just was like
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no.
14th.
Okay, yeah. Does it make more sense to you?
I
mean, I know it's Valentine's Day, but I just felt like February or something. She was bringing it up like that. It was more important than just, unless that was just her favorite holiday. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I just heard her tell me.
Okay.
She is also bringing up like, and the word I heard is like an affinity, like to like birds, but I heard owls specifically.
Huh.
If that one makes sense for you.
I don't know, but now, or any bird. I wasn't that close to her, but yeah,
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, definitely write it down. I feel like maybe even she is, I don't want to say coming back as, because that's not really the right term, but she's presenting herself maybe in the physical world as like an owl to people around her that were maybe closest to her.
Okay. All right. Okay.
She is showing me some ribbons. I'm just trying to get the colors for you. These ones are actually ribbons, like, you know, like the like a cancer awareness sort of ribbon. They're just kind of shaped like that.
Yeah.
And I do see a pink one, and she's showing me a white one, and they're in, you know, like I said, like they're shaped like a cancer awareness sort of way. I'm not sure if that's what they're representing or not, but that's just that's how they're shaped.
Okay.
Let me see what else she gave me. I am hearing another S name, so like S as in Sam, associated with this woman. So when I get names, it's either the first letter of their first name or the first letter of their last name.
Mm-mm.
And then sometimes it's somebody living, just to kind of get you to the right person, or for her to validate that person for you.
I'm not sure.
That's okay. She didn't tell me if it was male or female, so just be aware it could be either or.
Okay.
I mean, and as I said that, I heard the name Scott, so it could just be a man with an S name. And then I have a brother named Scott, so sometimes they just tell me things. So I'm not sure if she had a brother, or maybe he needs a little attention or something to that effect, but sometimes that's how they get themselves across.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Let's see. She keeps showing me like a plaque of some sort that I feel like is in like some sort of remembrance to her. I feel like it's in a public place, so like lots of people can see it. Does that make any sense? Any sense to you?
That's possible. I haven't seen anything, but yeah, I mean, besides, you know, where she was buried at, I'm not sure about that neither.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. She's showing it to me like in like a beautiful sort of way. So like I'm not sure if there's something to learn from her accident or not, or whatever, however she passed, but I feel like the plaque is like, unless it's again like it's something that she wants done or they're thinking about doing for her, but I feel like it's something that everyone can see and potentially learn from. So it's almost like she wants to be like, you know, spreading the love still like from above, to help people. I'm hearing the word cope, so I'm not, again, I can't get exactly how she passed away, but like cope.
She was hit twice by two different vehicles back to back on them.
She said
outside a car and get her appointment book, and that happened, and yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm just hearing the word cope with stuff, so I'm not sure. Just I feel like whatever was happening, I feel like just a lot of people could learn from that moment. Is what she's saying about for me. So, but let me see if I can get a message from her real quick. I feel like what she's saying to me is that when she passed away, a lot of people's lives like stopped people that obviously loved her very dearly, their lives have kind of stopped, and she's seen this, and she wants them to restart, their lives. Know that she's in a good place and she's up there, and now she can look down on everyone. As tragic as it was, she just keeps saying that. And it's almost like she's just like standing behind them all and just trying to push them all forward. I feel like they're just not in a good spot. So she's coming through to us today. And again, I never put any pressure on anybody to tell them, but you can always just let them listen to this or something. But I feel like they want to let, she wants to let these loved ones of hers that are just stopped in their tracks and with grief and stuff to try to push them to take some steps forward.
Right.
Does that make sense? All right, well, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thanks, everyone. You're listening to me, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. I almost forgot my name. It's like this is what happens when I'm in the zone, right? Like I'm in this, like I'm almost like
You're talking to dead people.
I'm talking to dead people. So like my mind's in this different like zone, and I have to like bring it back down real quick, and then be like, hey,
It's
like,
hard.
I'm back on Earth, and I'm trying to say my name. So anyway, we are on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk radio, and I'm here with my friend Sarah Woodward.
Hey, you.
Hey.
Are you back to Earth yet?
Yeah, I know. It's like, thank you. Yes. So, it's like my 5th show, and talking about life and positivity and love and spreading that to everybody. And it's like, I'm just doing these medium readings. People, you obviously have an idea, but it's like, I'm trying to talk to dead people, and then like at this such a higher vibration, and then come back, and then like, oh, hey, Sarah, blah, 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 talk, and then
let's be human for a minute. Yeah, it's
just
hard.
Like, I'm just jumping like almost like I always kind of jump into like my soul to try to do the readings, and then put my soul back in me, and then get back to
I get it.
You totally understand.
I totally get it. It's like when I do a spirit guide retrieval for somebody, like I have to like come. Like there's always like questions they want to ask afterwards, and and I'm literally like, just keep speaking, and eventually like I'll answer your questions. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
Like it's really, you're in this whole other world really, and then you have to come back to Earth and reality, and it's like, hold on.
I know it's
my soul hasn't gotten here yet.
It's not so bad when I'm like, at least with you, but like when I'm in public, like I was at the again, so I bartend like part-time, and I know a few, like most of them know what I do at this point. So I was like literally zoned out. I'm pouring a beer like from the tap, and then I'm just like staring, and then one of the guys like claps in my face, and he's like, Steph, like come back to us. And I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, thank you so much for doing that, because I just was like zoned. I was like, oh my God. And
I understand. I talk to trees a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to all of nature, but I talk to trees probably the most. And I'm very fortunate to live with my property abutting a park with lots of trees and walking trails and stuff. And so I can't tell you how many times I've been out walking, and I'll just be like talking to a tree, and I'm in a whole other world, and all of a sudden I'll come back and there's like people. And I'm like, they're walking their dog, and they're playing with their kids and whatever. And I'm like,
they're like #psychopath.
Right? I'm like, one of these days I'm going to show up on some weird website of like crazy things I saw in the park or whatever. I'm like, this is okay. Like, I trust that spirit keeps me safe. I trust that I'm protected. I trust that I'm never going to be hurt.
Yes, yeah.
But at the same time, I can only imagine what's going through these people's heads.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And then as you say, trust and stuff, of course. So I'm like, connected right now. So
of course
I was hearing for everybody listening or on Facebook, it's like, trust that guy. So I saw like people looking down at their phones, and then that moment where they look up and they like almost got in a car accident, but they didn't get in a car accident.
Yeah.
It's like, can you say thank you to someone,
Seriously.
Yeah,
and actually, can you not be looking at your phones while you're driving?
Well, that too, but yeah. My friend Paula put talking to trees, question mark. Wow.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, it's just trees are energy. Trees, actually, Paula is somebody I know when I'm calling in my spirit loved ones and spirit, and I call in.
I introduced you to trees.
You didn't, and I thought I was crazy at first, but it's like, hey, tree, and I'm like, I am talking to trees.
Yeah.
Tree is just
he's really
a guy.
cool, right?
Yeah, it's just it sounds. I know I sound crazy, but
no, you don't.
But I don't sound crazy to you, but it's just something else to. Joey's like, yeah, you guys sound crazy.
No, you don't. And I literally talk to the trees in my yard. I talk to the trees in the park.
Mm-hmm. I talk to them in like I put my hand on the tree,
sure,
and I feel like the tree's energy.
That counts,
sort of thing. Yeah, that usually
counts. I do that too, but I also have actual conversations. And I'm sure that like all of my neighbors think I'm nuts, and I don't care.
Yeah, the tree in my sister's house that they have, it's, I don't want to say magical, but it's just like this tree, like just brought like, I was like, oh my God, I have to go touch this tree.
I understand.
Yeah, I know. It was so energy. And then I was like, some dude died in your house. That was my next sentence out of that was the next sentence out of my mouth.
Of course it was, because you talk to dead people.
Yeah, I was like, hey, some guy had a heart attack in your house, by the way. But your tree outside is so cool. So if anybody, we're wrapping up for the night, if anybody would like to get in touch with Sarah, again, her Facebook page is Stonebridge Transformation. And then again, her I already said Facebook, her website is the same thing, stonebridgetransformation.com. Check her out. She's super cool. And then me, myself,
Thanks, girl.
Yeah, you're welcome. I am Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium on Facebook, Steffanie with 2 F's. And then my website is StephanieDamboise.com. So you can get a medium reading, oracle cards. I do Akashic Records readings. I do home parties. I do house clearings. So maybe I am cool too. I have a lot
You're totally
yeah.
cool. You couldn't be my friend if you were not cool.
I mean, technically I have like RTR after my name,
See?
X-rays. But anyway, so thanks so much for listening and tuning in tonight, guys. Stay tuned. Listen in next Monday night from 8 to 10. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks so much.
You're listening to 1590 WSMN Nashua.
USA Radio News with Robin Wooley.